to introduce the presiding officer.
Her name.
Carolyn?
No.
Anne, okay. So I forgot who's who.
No.
Thank you, Mr. Sergeant Arms. Thank you for joining us this morning at this evaluation showcase. To everyone in the room and to our fellow Toastmasters and any guests we have online. Without further ado, I want to introduce our Toastmaster for today, Distinguished Toastmaster, Carolyn Jenkins.
You want to click on my wire. Be very careful of that wire up there.
Thank you. It is a pleasure and an honor to be addressing you
Sorry.
this morning amid some technical and some mechanical difficulties. I am honored to be here with you, and I am welcoming you all to this meeting, this special meeting. Before we get started, I'm just going to ask Ray, who is our timer, to just show what she's going to do to indicate times for our speaker. Ray?
Thank you. The maximum time I'll show. I'll show.
That came off mute, I think.
Okay. And then at halfway point, I'll show yellow and the maximum time red. And you have 30 seconds to wrap up your meeting. Wrap up your speech. In case of John, it will be 10 to 12 minutes. But he has warned me on the way here that he might go over time, but end is from 5 to 7. And all the evaluation will be 2 to 3 minutes. And I will report at the end of the meeting. Carolyn.
Thank you, Ray. And I just want to make a special note that due to some health issues, I will sit for most of the meeting as opposed to be standing. So forgive the contravention of protocol. Tony does want to give a couple announcements, words of wisdom, and I invite him up to the lectern.
Just a quick explanation of the setup here. For those who are remotely, we have one feed that has the cameras for the room. One of them is looking towards the back of the room. One of them is looking towards the room. I have the microphones set up speaker mode. So everyone's talking here. It will show on the screen. When our remote people talk, they should be showing on the screen so we can see what they're saying. Any other questions about the setup? Okay, that's it. Let's get the show on the road.
Perfect. Thank you, Tony. Okay, our first speaker is going to be speaking on the evaluation itself. We're doing this in basically three parts, I guess. We're having a speech, we'll have a round robin, we'll have an evaluation. For the second speech, we're actually have 2 evaluations. So it's going to be a little different from your typical Toastmasters meeting, but we hope it will be informative and helpful to everyone. Our first speaker is our own John Bowen. He's speaking from Pathways Motivational Strategies, and this is a level 3 elective, Inspire Your Audience. John Bowen has been a Toastmaster since shortly after the invention of sliced bread. And he believes that every speaker, no matter how good, has one or two things that they do well and should continue, and one or two things that they could do better. He says his job as an evaluator is just to find those things and describe them in complete sentences, while occasionally making dramatic pauses. What could be more fun than that? John Bowen, the gift that keeps on giving. The gift that keeps on giving, John Bowen.
Have you ever received a gift that keeps on giving? I'm not talking about those phone calls you get about your expired car. I'm not talking about what you got from that guy with the bad cold sitting next to you on the airplane. I'm not even talking about bringing home a pregnant cat. I'm talking about something much more important, much more complex, much more satisfying. I'm talking about a Toastmaster evaluation. You know, that moment after you speak when someone like David stands up there, looks you in the eye and says, John, you had so much energy today, but I didn't understand anything at all that you were saying. You sit there, you smile and you nod, you say, yeah, thanks, David. Thanks for that punch in the guts. That's evaluations. But here's a little secret. Here's a little trick. That evaluation, no matter how awkward it feels, is for you a gift that keeps on giving. So what is an evaluation? Well, outside of Toastmasters, we often see evaluations couched as feedback, some sort of feedback. And these days in this technological world, feedback often means that really loud tone you get, or it means, hey, dude, you're still muted. Sometimes, ominously, it's that email from your boss, per my last email. Sometimes we say evaluations are constructive criticism. And that's like when my wife looks at me and says, hey, you're not wearing that shirt with those pants, are you? For us, for Toastmasters, evaluation is something different. Evaluations are all about listening. It's when you have the opportunity to have someone listen to you, listen intently, listen all the way through your speech, take notes, never once look at their phone or try to text you. That's what evaluation is about. And listening like that, having someone listen like that is so rare these days that it's practically magical. That evaluation is our way of saying, hey, you're doing great. This is what I saw you do. This is what I heard you do. This is how I felt about what you said. An evaluation like that, it's not just feedback. It's not just some sort of constructive.
Evaluations are our club's way of saying we're here for you. We saw your effort. We heard your story. We felt your passion. And hey, here's a little something you could try that would make it even better. What's it like when you're the speaker being evaluated? I can still remember my first icebreaker 25 odd years ago. Iris Thompson was a force of nature in that club. She was a master of what I saw, what I heard, and what I felt. She could evaluate the feathers off a peacock, and she was going to be evaluating me. I practiced that 5-minute speech for hours and hours. I memorized it down to the last comp. I rehearsed my gestures, all 3 of them, and I was scared to death. I stood up, I gave my speech, I sat down, and was I glad that I'd worn my brown pants. A few minutes later, Iris Thompson stood up. John, I loved your story. I loved the way you painted those word pictures. I was a little bit surprised when you told me it was a 5-minute speech and you finished it in less than 2 minutes.
John, I need you to slow down. I need you to stop. I need you to take a breath. You had such great ideas. You had such a great story. We need a chance to follow along with you. There are a couple times in your speech when you needed to just pause and let us catch up. Let us wait for your words. The silence is okay. If you can do that, if you can slow down with your use of words, with those pictures you paint, your next speech is be so beautiful. I sat there, I heard that, and I didn't know whether I was supposed to cry or I was supposed to applaud her for her insight. So somehow I managed to do both of those at the same time. But a strange thing happened. My very next speech, I stood up, I gave my speech, and at one point I paused. It was terrifying. But that speech, that evaluation that Iris gave to me was a gift that keeps on giving. And why is that? Because that evaluation made me braver. It made me willing to take chances. It made me willing to slow down. It made me willing to look at my audience, interact with them, see how they were responding. It changed the whole focus and career of the Toastmasters speeches that I was doing. Excuse me. This has been a technologically and allergenically tough day today. So if being evaluated is a very scary thing, what's it like to be the evaluator? Well, I can still remember too, the very first evaluation I gave. You know, I guess they say you never do forget your first, but I can remember that first evaluation. I was sitting there, I had this dialogue going on in my head. I was saying, wow, I can't do this. He's too good. He's talking too fast. What if what I say doesn't make any sense? What if I'm wrong? What if he hates me? What if I look really stupid? Why am I doing this? I'm sitting there then trying to read all these notes that I've scribbled on the paper, and all I can remember is the speaker's name. I can't even remember the speech. So I stood up. I gave my evaluation. I sat down. And once again, I was really glad I was wearing those brown pants. I've done an evaluation or two since then. And along the way, I've learned some things. And this is what I've learned. When you're evaluating, you don't have to be brilliant. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to be clever and creative. You just have to be kind and honest and listen to that speaker. It's a personal experience. You're talking about how the speaker made you feel, what you felt, what you heard, what you saw. And maybe you're going to have an idea or two for that speaker that you can share with them that will help them communicate with you directly. But it's extremely personal. When you do that, it's a gift to that speaker. But another thing happens besides that. When you evaluate like that, you become a better listener. You get better at sitting there, taking things in and processing them. And when you become a better listener, that's like you have gained a superpower. One more thing's going to happen, and this is really, really surprising. As you listen, as you evaluate, you start to notice things. You start to notice those dramatic pauses. You notice the way words go together. You notice the volume changes. You notice the tone of voice change. You notice how people conclude their speeches, how they start their speeches. And you pay attention to all those pieces that all that soak in, and you yourself become a better speaker. So the process of evaluating makes you a better speaker. And that for you as the evaluator is another gift that keeps on giving. Evaluations like that are the heart and the soul of this club. We grow here because it's a safe place to try things. We try new speeches. We try new technology like you're seeing today. We try to listen and learn from the best of us. And we know sometimes we're going to hear an evaluation that says, hey, you're doing good. Just keep on doing what you're doing. Sometimes we're going to hear that second level evaluation that says, well, here's something you might try, and it would make your speech even better. And sometimes we're going to hear that third level evaluation, the one that says, hey, here's an idea. Try this one out, And your speech is going to go from great to tremendous. And that's why we do this. We know our evaluations don't just fix people's techniques. What our evaluations do is they plant possibilities in the speaker. They cultivate confidence in the speaker. They generate growth in the speaker. They say to the speaker, hey, go on, you're doing fine. We're listening to you, we're paying attention. You have our attention, and we want to watch you grow and grow and grow. So the next time you're a speaker, you stand up there and you're being evaluated, don't just brace for the impact, don't just brace for the punch. Recognize that you've been given a gift and you need to unwrap it. And it may be clothed in awkwardness, but inside that gift, you're going to find insight and encouragement and growth. And the next time you're the evaluator, you stand up there and you do your evaluation. And remember, again, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be brilliant and creative. You just have to be kind and honest and listen to that speaker and share what that experience was like. And as you do that, you are also going to grow along with the speaker. It's a freebie. You're going to grow together. And that growth that comes from evaluating is a gift for you, a gift that you need to unwrap. So in your next Toastmasters meeting, step back and try to envision this. The speaker and the evaluator are both exchanging gifts. They're exchanging the gifts that keep on giving.
Thank you, John. That was a great way to start our meeting here today with some wisdom and experience from John. What I'm going to do now is have a brief round robin, which will be followed by the evaluation of the speech that John gave, which will be followed by an evaluation of the evaluation of John's speech. It's almost like that project, evaluation and feedback, where you have the three parts. So let's start with the round robin. What I'm going to ask is that from those in the audience, if you're willing to participate in the round robin, raise a hand, the virtual hand that in that react button, so that I don't call on people who are a little perhaps timid at this point. I hope that by the end of the meeting, you'll all be wanting to participate in the round robin.
I is willing.
Great. And first I'll call on a couple people from ATA so that people can get a sense of what we do in this round robin. I'm going to ask everyone to limit your comments to about a minute. So first on our hit list is Anne. Anne, do you have anything to say?
John, I thought your speech was very inspirational, especially to me, because I am not new at evaluating, but I think taking the tips you provided will help me elevate my evaluation to that next level. I liked how you brought the audience in. How do you do this? How do you do that? That was very engaging. I know you've been a Toastmaster for a while, and I can't wait to hear more because I learn so much from you every time I listen.
Thank you, Anne. And Phil, will you have a comment or two?
I think you were channeling somebody from my past. Because I remember Jay Nodine standing up and doing that same thing where he would start with a story and a little humor, and he would incorporate the names of people right here in our group. And it captivated us. And that's the piece that captivated me throughout the stories. Absolutely the stories. That what it felt like to evaluate, what it felt like to evaluate, what it, those are the places where we really made connection here. Those are the places where we really made connection here.
Thank you, Phil. And let's go to our audience. Let's go to our audience. What comments do you have for John? What comments do you have for John?
Thank you, Carol. So I've used this analogy before. One of my favorite fast food restaurants is Subway. And imagine that I was at Subway station today trying to get a sandwich, which is how I felt when I trying to hear your speech, right? So there is the bread. You started off with amazing comedy story, which got my attention right away. And then you have the protein of what evaluation is, that's the core, and what you expect. And then you brought in some, again personal stories, things that you want to do, or things that can be done. Very specific. I don't want to go very specific yet, which is where the protein, the veggies, and everything came in. And I'm not a huge fan of olives, so the technical difficulties is what I call the olives today in the sandwich. However, you just nonchalantly went through. I put it in the chat as well. I want to reiterate how nonchalantly you powered through that issues. You stopped and then you came back and then give an amazing sandwich to me today. So thank you so much for that, John.
Thank you, Guy. I'm gonna pick on someone. Renee. Renee actually has her hand up. Anyway.
Wow. Thank you so much. John, you already know, I always love listening to your speech and what you said about the evaluator role. I've been a Toastmaster 5 years, and the evaluator role has always scared me to death. But I've learned through the years, like one of the things you said, you don't have to be brilliant, just be honest, be kind, and listen. And that's one of the skill sets that I learned when I was a member of ATA. That was the best value I had. I love what you said. You kept it simple. It's about what you see, what you hear, how you felt. You said just be kind, be honest, and just listen. Yet you were comprehensive. You just incorporated everything, John, from the speaker to the evaluator to just all the emotions that go on both sides. No matter what speech John gives, there's three components that I always walk away with. He's informative, he's inspiring each and every time, and his humor is just unbelievable. The brown pants thing, honestly, I'm still dying laughing at that. Another technique that John did that I was inspired by, he repeated some key pieces. He repeated the be kind, honest, listen. He repeated the what you saw, what you heard, what you felt. He repeated the title multiple times. And again, that's connected everything together. So again, I just have to say, John is, he always inspires me. He's my hero, he's my mentor. He is a master evaluator, a master speaker. We know he's a master.
Oh. Everybody else is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just Renee. That was just
Renee, yeah.
Go ahead, Carolyn.
Thank you, Renee. I know you can't hear, but that's okay. The others can. Next, I'm going to call on just a couple more people for time. Julie, would you like to give some feedback to John?
Thank you, Carolyn. I know we missed a little bit of it because the technical difficulties, but we all know that that's to be expected these days. Although we're blessed to be able to meet virtually and hybrid, sometimes we have those issues that we just have to work through. John didn't let that bother him. He just kept going. I do want to reiterate what Renee said about the hearing, what you heard, what you saw, what you felt. I think that's very important because people As they say, the famous quote, people will forget many things, but they will always remember how you made them feel. So that is a very important key. And to be honest and kind and listen is also very important. Evaluations is something I struggle with. I'm scared to do them as well. So I've been trying to take on that role to practice. And it is intimidating. But John gave us some key elements to help us all in our evaluations going forward. And I'm going to keep those in mind. And I do appreciate it. His voice also is very calming. He delivers well. I've heard him speak several times in contests. He's an amazing speaker. Excuse me, and evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Okay, looking at the time, we are going to move on to the evaluation of John's speech. And for this, I'm going to ask Will Don to take it away. Will.
John, thank you for sharing this inspiring speech. I appreciate your trust to let me evaluate your speech. Your goal was to inspire us while managing the challenge of the hybrid format. So on the content, when you said a punch in your gut, I feel genuinely moved because that is exactly what I'm feeling now. As English is a second language and only moved to the States for 4 years, and it's challenging all the time. But it's a gift to help me to grow. Just like Elizabeth, she is the first president get me into Toastmaster. I'm growing all the time. And on the template, the template flew naturally, and I feel you didn't rehearsal. You didn't feel like memorize on this. You nail it. On the hybrid format, when you create the walk to the audience, it's create intimacy to the audience. But as the audience online, I feel a little bit ignored. So for the area to grow, you might consider to adding one more question to the audience not online, but also to the people on site. It will create a balance for both audience. Last but not least, your next speech you might consider to add maybe one more pause so that you can collect thoughts from the audience, and we can have better understanding and even better learning from your speech. So that is my humble evaluation. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. We appreciate that. Now we're going to have an evaluation of the evaluation. And for this, I welcome to the lectern Ms. Patty Hamilton.
Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters. Will, thank you for that evaluation of John's speech. You gave a testimony that says you were actively listening to what John was trying to share among us. And your testimony goes to prove that John's speech was quite effective. You were very clear and focused on what John's speech meant to you. And by sharing that with the audience through your evaluation, we began to see that active listening depends also on what your needs are, and you were able to identify what John was saying with you personally. You gave him a couple of recommendations, both related to the online audience and how to make sure he doesn't forget you guys out there. I think they were great recommendations, and I'm sure John will implement those in the future. You were sympathetic to the technical concerns that happened during John's speech. And although you did have to mention those as part of the evaluation, I think you handled them nicely. I think your evaluation of John's speech was very encouraging, not only to all of us who have to deal with a hybrid audience, but to John as well, because even though things didn't go smoothly, he just charged right through there as a professional and ended his speech for us with a good summary. So thank you, Will. I think you did a great job. Keep on evaluating. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pat. The next in our lineup is a speech by our president and Kirkman. And this is on leadership development. It's a level 3 elective, and my gosh, it's inspire your audience. The speech title is Words Matter. Have you ever noticed how a single phrase can echo through your life, shaping how you see the world? Positivity is a choice, a commitment to see the bright side and remain hopeful, even in the face of adversity. As Toastmasters teaches us, growth as a communicator and a leader begins with how we view the world. Our mindset and attitude shape nearly every aspect of our lives. When we choose to focus on positive, we lay the foundation for greater success and deeper impact. But positivity isn't always easy. It's often forged in our hardest moments. Today, Anne shares a deeply personal story about how her grandfather's words continue to shape her life and remain a guiding light in her journey. Before we begin, please know that this story includes references to suicide. If you need to step away at any point, we completely understand and support your well-being. Thank you for your understanding. Now, with courage, compassion, and a message she truly believes matters, please join me in welcoming Anne as she shares her story. Words matter.
By a show of hands, everyone online and those in the room, who here considers themselves a positive person? I see a lot of hands and I admire that. But for me, positivity isn't natural. It's survival. Growing up, encouragement was rare, except from the one person who's my hero, my grandfather. But even his voice couldn't silence the one in my own head that would tell me, Anne, you're not enough. You never will be, and you will fail. My grandfather was my hero. He pushed my sisters and I to not only excel in achievement, but in attitude. Positivity, he said, is a daily choice. To him, kindness and respect weren't optional. They were required. He was not only wise, but he was also witty. I remember one time he said, if you can't say something nice to someone, come sit by me, and until you can, I'll put you out in the field for weeks. Most importantly, he would always say, how you treat people matters. Words matter. But even our heroes carry burdens that sometimes we can't see. Today marks exactly 35 years since my grandfather passed. After 48 years of marriage, he lost the love of his life, his best friend, to cancer. 11 years later, in 1990, my grandfather committed suicide. When Mom called to deliver the news, I was mad. No, I was angry. How could he leave me? What would have him decide to take his own life? I didn't understand, and I resented my grandfather. It wasn't until this year that I was faced with the same decision. Fast forward to July 22nd of this year. I received my mid-year review. My new manager of less than 2 months delivered the review, although he didn't write it. And he didn't disclose any of the comments in the review. We had a really good conversation. He told me what I was doing well and gave me opportunities for improvement. The next day, when I actually had the opportunity to read the document, I couldn't believe what I was reading. The words that were jumping out at me on the page were almost malicious, and I felt they were lies. I didn't know what to do. I was shocked and devastated. The company that I have worked for 29 years, and now I am given a rating of being an underperformer. Some of the phrases in the appraisal were, "You're not enough. You're not doing your job. You are failing." These were extremely painful words, and they didn't only sting, but they opened old wounds. All of a sudden, that sabotaging voice in the back of my head said, "See, I told you you weren't enough, and you never will be, and you failed." I immediately flashed back to December of 2006, where I was diagnosed for the first time with severe depression and anxiety, and I thought about committing suicide due to similar circumstances. As the weeks passed since I received that evaluation, I could feel myself slipping into that deep depression. And yes, suicidal thoughts had been crossing my mind. I just wanted the pain to end. But I knew what I had to do. I had to fight. I had to survive. I had to heal. I went to see my doctor, and she helped me find a very good therapist. I am working through this with the help of therapy and medication, and I am on that road to recovery, building a mental toolkit of resources that I can use to get through each and every day. Positivity is a mindset that I must consciously choose every single day. But I learned something. What happened in July was pivotal. By seeking help, I found clarity. By finding clarity, I found forgiveness. I may not understand why my grandfather took his own life, but I can understand. Why someone might go to the length to take their own life. I realized that my grandfather's suicide doesn't define him. My thoughts about taking my life don't define me. His words define him. His words are the compass that I have used guide me in my life. Why am I sharing this? Why am I sharing this story with you here today? Because your word might be the lifeline that somebody needs. Words spoken or unspoken can shape someone's life. I matter. You matter. I am enough. You are all enough. My challenge for each of you today is pause before you speak. Before you say something mean, disrespectful, hurtful, consider the impact. You never know what someone is carrying. Choose kindness, choose respect, and always remember, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Anne, for that wonderful speech. Now, this time, we're going to have evaluations first and round robin later. So I call on our first evaluator, who will be evaluating more content. Phyllis, come.
What you saw today. What you saw and heard and do was to share something so intensely personal that it boggles the mind why we do this in our Toastmaster meetings. And yet, you get it. I get it, Anne. And I know Renee gets it, and Cy gets it, and Julie gets it, and all of you out there, you got it too. Because here in this room, we could feel what she was feeling, and how that voice from her childhood came out again after her evaluation from work. And I wanted to run up here and grab her around the shoulders and say, Anne, that voice in your head is an idiot. And I think probably there were others in the room who wanted to say that too. So why we do these things at our Toastmaster meeting and how we do these things at our Toastmaster meeting has something to do with the fact that we have a legitimate message. We have something that's burning in here that wants to come out, and that's what I heard. It needed to be said. Part of your healing is saying it. A few days ago, I listened to a Toastmaster speech that was a letter to the mother who committed suicide by substance use of one of our members in another room. And I thought, God, we bare our souls here. We only be dressed from the waist up in the online environment. I know Catherine probably does have pants. But really and truly, we bare our souls and we talk about these things because they have to be talked about. These are real messages and legitimate messages that have to be shared. The first little piece about the grandfather, you were still smiling. And I thought, that's not the real emotion of this message. When she talked about how she was angry, she didn't sound angry. But when she got to the heart about the evaluation from her boss, the legitimate and honest emotion came through. And the message I heard her repeat, and maybe a little bit of a narrative structure that could use a little more concrete chunks, and a few pauses in between the pause at the end was really powerful. I really felt like you have given us a gift about where It is that hope and clarity and forgiveness are all part of the positivity we have to have each day. Thank you for your gift, Anne. Thank you for you who are in the room, feeling it with me. And I bet some of you online have felt it too. Carol.
Thank you very much, Bill. We're now going to have an evaluation that deals more with technical aspects and a delivery. And for this, Tony Campbell.
I got it. This is a difficult environment we're dealing with here. This is hybrid, which means you need to look best for the camera and you need to look best for the audience. And sometimes those two are mutually exclusive. And we don't do this all the time. We're usually either in person or we're hybrid, not hybrid, on Zoom meetings. And now we're in that next environment. So when I was looking at Anne from the standpoint of speaking in room, she was excellent. She had eye contact with everybody. She had big gestures that worked well. Now this is the part I'm going to challenge our Zoom members. I'm going to ask you some questions, and in the feedback section, I would like you to comment on these questions I am proposing to you. How did she look on your screen? One thing I noticed with John when he gave his speech is he came up to the camera and said, oh, it needs some adjustment. This is before his speech. So he adjusted the camera for that speech. And I did not see you interacting with the camera or the monitor in front of you much at all. You were about this position, only the bottom half of the screen contained you. So this is one thing I challenge you in the future to do, is to take a look where the camera is, focus on the audience, and make sure that the camera is placed to your liking, and then make sure that you work that camera best to your ability. We have a bit of use of the stage here. You can go over this far, and the audience will still see you. You can go over this far, and the audience can still see you. So you have a bit of room on the stage. Now, for your particular speech, I'm not too sure if making use of the stage in person or for hybrid is relevant. But usually they say make use of your stage. You're talking about one thing, come this way. If you're talking about something else, come this way. When you're talking about your main point, go to the middle. You also have the monitor in front of you. Take a look. Am I contacting with you, and with my audience? So like I said, this is a very difficult environment to work. You've got two sets of people to make happy. The first is your audience in front of you. You can really see them. They'll go, yes, I am contacting you. I am contacting with you. I got the guy in the back too. But how about the people on the screen? Sometimes you need to talk directly to them. Make use of that presence the best you can. You can zoom in for them, but then keep in mind, how does that look to your local audience? You can go back for better points. You can use your bigger gestures. So we don't do hybrid too often. We have another club that once a month needs hybrid. We barely get good practice of how to look in that environment, but I've had a little bit. I'm not too sure how much experience Anne has had in the hybrid world. Sure, she's had a lot in Zoom, probably a lot in in-person meetings, but this hybrid is another breed of cat altogether. Needs a little bit more work to finally polish your message. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tony. Now we're going to do something a little different. It's going to be around Robin. But you can comment on the speech, evaluation 1, evaluation 2, or any combination of all three. And you get an extended period of time to think with us. You'll have up to 2 minutes. Now, once again, I'll start with a few ATA members. And then I'm going to reach out to the audience. So let's see, Ray, would you like to?
So I was concentrating on timing and
Oh,
I was
okay.
paying much attention to the speeches, but sounded all wonderful. But I put some grammatical things here and there, but nothing important. Sorry.
John, you have some comments for us.
I have two things I would like to share with you, Anne. That was an incredibly brave thing that you did. Getting in a speech like that where the emotion is so close to the surface, you can see that it was a little bit of a struggle just to keep the tears out of your eyes and to stay focused on this. And that's a great challenge. And you managed to pull that one off. So congratulations on that. What I was doing here is kind of flow charting what you were doing. And in the initial part of the speech, you just really started out, as Phyllis said, talking about joy. You were happy. You were sharing all the great things about your grandfather. And excuse me. And then you came to the place of anger, where you were angry that he committed suicide. You were angry at your evaluation. And then you came to talking about suicide itself and your contemplated suicide also. And what I saw there was that the things you were talking about made sense, but the way in which you were expressing them was a little bit, it was a little bit too soft, too gentle. When you were angry, I needed to see more anger with that transition. When you talked about the suicide, that was so serious that was a time to slow down your voice, drop your tone a little bit, become just a little bit more intimate, talking about something intensely personal, so that the body, what I saw and what I heard needed to correlate what I felt, if that makes sense. I thought that was one thing that's very important. I also think that you really had two speeches here. You had the speech about words, which was really important about how it made you feel and how your grandfather's affected you and how they were the guide to your life. And then you had a speech about suicide in there. And I think that you might, especially given the emotional content that's there, they're both so important. Maybe they splitting up into two pieces. And be brave and talk to us about suicide. I know looking around, a lot of us have contemplated at least from time to time, and it's a very important thing. And the words are a very important thing, even if they don't go to suicide. So be brave and make it bigger, and give each part more attention. I think you get more impact, and maybe it'll be a little bit easier to deal with too. But thank you for being brave enough to share.
Thank you, John. Will, do you have any comments for the speech or either of the evaluations?
Yeah, so I do appreciate to answer such a deep personal story about her grandfather. So it's a very brief sharing, and also it's testify to me that Toastmasters is always a safe haven. People have empathy is so warm. You can gain help and share what you really want to share. And also for me, it's resonate me because I am never a positive person, and the words in my head all the time. Even I graduated from Ivy League, but still I think I am not enough. I will never be, and I didn't deserve it. But through your journey, it's also resonated me that I'm fighting. We are fighting. We are fighting with these thoughts because positivity is about survival. It's an everyday task for people like us. So if you want any suggestion from my side, I will challenge about your length of your speech because it's such an inspiring story. It deserves a little bit longer, just like what John has done to a 10 to 12 minutes speech. It will enable you to further illustrate a bigger story to make sure that everyone have more thoughts in a more structural way to understand your journey, not only in life but also in your professional life. So that is my sharing. Thank you so much for your speech.
Thank you, Will. Catherine, do you have any comments for our speaker and evaluators?
Not at this time, I ask. Thank you.
Okay. So, reaching into the audience. Missy, do you have any comments you'd like to share?
Sure.
For me, what I would like to share on is Anne. And I enjoy your speech. And I also think that it was very relatable to pretty much everyone. We've all been in some form of situation where we have felt less than, and we've let intrusive thoughts win. And I feel like you did a very good job calling that out. But then also rounding it out with the steps that you've taken to maintain positivity and overcome the negative thoughts and the negative comments that come through. Personally, I found it to be very relatable on my own end. One thing I will follow up with is the call out on interacting with everyone in the room, being in a hybrid environment. It can be very difficult sometimes to recognize the people that are on the camera, especially when they're on a screen that's in front of you, or in some cases you don't even see that screen in front of you. They may be behind you. When you're making those call outs, even if you're pointing, people may not realize that that's where it's coming from. And a simple verbal acknowledgement of those who are online. And I did notice when you started your speech, you made that call out and asked everyone online as well. And I thought that was very good. Also to bring that up, make that mention. I would say keep that momentum as you go through your speech, and continue to use verbal inclusivity for those who are in the hybrid space and tuning in virtually, because sometimes it can be a little difficult to follow when we have multiple cameras. So making that verbal call out also further acknowledges. Fantastic job. I really did enjoy your speech.
Thank you very much, Nancy. I'd like to call on a few other people. Renee has her hand up. Go ahead.
Yes. First of all, I have to commend HEA, or maybe it was Ann, or maybe it was Carolyn. The fact that you braced us for such an important, deeply emotional topic. I felt that was very impressive, very thoughtful. And for Ann, there were at least two statements you made that pierced my heart. Number one, heroes carry burdens that we can't see. Isn't that the truth? And then when you said words might be the lifeline that shapes someone's life, that tells me the responsibility is on me. It's on me. Like everybody else said, that whole topic of suicidal thoughts, or thoughts of not feeling worthy. That resonates with so many people. But we have to be aware of what somebody else might be going through, or what words we may say that may come across in a negative way. That responsibility is on us. So thank you for sharing all those very important insights. You did a great job staying composed. I know how emotional it might have felt. But coming through the screen, you look well composed throughout that entire speech. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Renee. And Jolene has her hand up. Go ahead, Jolene.
Thank you for the opportunity to be brave and share feedback on the meeting that I'm attending. Tempted to not raise the hand and speak up My understanding is this was an open invite to the Toastmaster community to attend an evaluation focused meeting. I have never attended a meeting like this one before. I was interested in seeing how you organize the evaluation process. So this was a learning experience for me to see the different approaches to doing the tiered level evaluation. And I wanted to compliment the group on presenting this out to us. I was specifically struck when the gentleman shared out how to engage the Zoom audience in the sessions, especially when I learned afterwards you don't often do the hybrid meetings. And in specific call out to Young's comment about being ignored or feeling ignored, being in the Zoom environment. I want to compliment you on your response to the technical problems. You may have felt frustrated, but all I felt coming out was kindness for each other as you work through it. I didn't see anybody actually show their frustration that they might have been feeling. The only other comment I would make is maybe find a way to have the lectern camera be a little higher. If you have a camera on a tripod versus the iPad and that's standing up a little higher, so it's a better angle for the Zoom viewers. I've enjoyed the session. I've learned. Thank you very much. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Sai, go ahead.
Thank you, Carolyn. I know we might be short on time. Be quick. Firstly, I'll start with and the moment you asked us all question, I was into your speech. You had a relatable topic. I was just feeling great. She's just speaking what I'm thinking of at a lot of places. And then Phyllis comes over with her evaluation and says, Sai felt it, Renee felt it. Wait, how did Phyllis know I felt it? And it was really captivating speech for me, very relatable. The only one thing that I would like to suggest is in the end, this is what I think make the speech effective. In the end, when you came out and say, I urge you all to take a pause and think about when you're giving feedback. There, what I thought would have been effective is I urge you all to pause, to think before you evaluate. Actually doing that pause, I think will make it more effective when you're delivering that call to action. That's my feedback. But great, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sai. Would anyone else like to pipe in here?
I will, Phil. I'm not Phil.
Whoever.
Yeah, one of these. Are these speakers? Yeah. Perfect. All right. I want to start. I don't think I've ever heard Anne give a speech before. And when she got up there, she kind of looked down and went silent. And I thought, oh boy, I was a little worried. But as soon as she opened her mouth, it was like a rocket. She took off. So I was very happy to hear your energy. And you spoke about something very vulnerable and inspirational. I thank you for doing that. Toastmasters always say it's like therapy. We talk about things in these meetings that we don't talk about or share with anybody else. So I'm glad that you have this arena to just speak out in your voice. I'm also a big fan of props. I don't know if everybody on Zoom knows, but her shirt says "Words Matter," which is the title of her speech. I thought that was wonderful. Vocal variety was great. The anger and the sadness. I think if it was a monotone speech, it wouldn't have been as effective, but your passion and your emotions really made it a very powerful speech. Now, I think you said today is the 35th anniversary of your grandfather's death.
Yes.
And it kind of ties into today you're able to give a speech about it. And you say words matter, but I think sounds matter. I got chills when the phone started ringing because we're in a church talking about your grandfather. It didn't stop ringing until I unplugged it. I'm not saying that was a message, but it was very bizarre that happened. And that was my feedback. I thought it was a great speech, and thank you for being vulnerable.
Thank you, David. Anyone else have any final comment?
Rob.
Rob, I couldn't see through the decoration.
So one thing that I think warrants more acknowledgement is just the impact that this speech has. Not only is a speech this depth and vulnerability, permission for the audience to really feel and to really, really get into the depths of their feelings. It's a conversation that it's a speech that normalizes this conversation. And I think it's important to point out how if you want to inspire change, you have to hit the audience in the feels, and the speech does that. Because feelings lead to thoughts, thoughts shape our beliefs, beliefs manifest in action. So someone in real time witnessing the speech would think, wow, I'm not alone. And then they might believe, well, maybe it is safe to talk about this. And then they go on to share their perspective with this subject. And so it continues to normalize. And so what I think is so powerful about a speech like this is that it is able to affect real change in real time. And so I applaud you for having the bravery to share it so openly. And it was clear that you prepared very well for it. And you really maintained your composure throughout the speech. So I have nothing but praise for you for that presentation.
Thank you very much, Sharon. Anyone else? Okay.
Okay. Put my hand up, but I just want to say to Ann, thank you for sharing that speech with us. It was personal to me because as soon as you started talking, I had to turn off my screen because I was like, I'm a crybaby. I know this one is going to take me somewhere. But thank you for sharing. Two things. One, you said that the name of your speech was Words Matter. And one statement you said during your speech was words spoken and unspoken. And that resonated with me because often people hear what you don't say. And I just thought that was powerful to me. So thank you for the speech. Thank you for sharing. And it reminds me of the reason why I love Toastmasters, because you took a subject that was very personal. And in this arena, you shared it with us. And I've heard this often where people have given speeches about situations that they've encountered, experiences that they've gone through. But when you go this deep in this personal and know and feel comfortable in sharing it in this arena, then this is a place that I want to be a part of. And you just reminded me of that with this speech and with being here today. I love how this process is proceeding too. I've never been to an evaluation type of workshop, and I love it. And I'm learning so much from all of you. And I just want to thank all of you for sharing today. Great speech.
Thank you, Peggy. Thank you very much. Now, should I pick on someone or shall we move on?
Pick.
Pick. May, would you like to give any comments on the proceedings?
Who did you call on?
May Wang?
Yes, thank you. Great meeting, great speakers, and I like also like the evaluators. So they give the point. Then and the speaker side very positive and with kindness. So I like the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Matthew, do you have any comments for us? No, okay. Dulcie?
Yes. It was a great meeting. It is a great meeting. Learning a lot. I'm glad that I joined it. And both speeches have been wonderful. But the second one is really touched me personally. I never live anything like it, but I know that as human we pass through some situations that maybe break you, and we need to be brave. And it's important to understand
that words really matters. Sometimes we hurt people with no intention, but words are important. And as the lady said in her speech, words that are spoken and not spoken. Because sometimes we say things and sometimes we don't say it, but the other person understood or understand things that we're saying, and it hurts. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to enjoy this meeting and keep doing it. It is important and always afraid of evaluating. I've been evaluating once or maybe twice, and I've been for 1 year at Toastmasters because scaring me a lot. But I promise you that from today I will be encouraging myself to do it. Thank you. Back to you.
In closing, I'm going to call on Phil for a comment or two.
I just want you to know that when we start this, when we show up for a Toastmaster meeting, when we join Toastmasters, we think it has something to do with public speaking or leadership skills or some stuff like that. It's not. It's not at all. It starts off being a group of people who want to build each other up, who want to build our own skills, but it becomes family. And we don't keep showing up because the curriculum is so wonderful, or if we just love the colors on the banner, or because we did some really cool stuff out there that's called a board with a bunch of crackers and shit. Why we come back together is because of the relationships. And I know that if I need something, I can turn to every single person in this room, both virtually and in person, because we have established those relationships. And maybe that's the answer to the question of why are we so crazy brave to say that things have to be said. Because we're in it together.
Thank you very much, Bill. That is a wonderful closing because it is so true. I joined Toastmasters for speaking. I stay in Toastmasters because it's my social family and my life. So we appreciate that very much.
Can I do a screenshot of this crazy bunch? Because y'all didn't know that you came together because we needed to be together, just because we needed to be together. All of you who are on the screen, if you would just like look at your camera and give us a smile, a thumbs up, a moment of encouragement. Oh, Bill, I see there you're sneaking in on the shoulder. Thank you so much for being here too. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to do a second one just in case you blinked at the wrong one. But I'll tell you what, folks. I came because we're going to do something cool with speaking and evaluating. But you know what? I go from this with way more than I ever thought. Again, the 3 with way more than I ever thought. Again, thank you. 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
And now I'm going to control back to our president, speaker, and
Thank you, Carolyn. Before we finish up, Ray, I'm going to come to you and ask for a timers report, please.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Yes. John, your speech was supposed to be between 10 and 12 minutes, and you thought you might go over, but you came in 11 minutes, 46 seconds, only time. And evaluator number one, Will, it was supposed to be 2 to 3 minutes. You came in at 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Next one, Patty, you were 1 minute and 59 seconds. And Anne's speech was supposed to be 5 to 7 minutes. You went a little bit over time with 7 minutes and 55 seconds, but your story was magnificent, so it's allowed. And wait until you become a DTM, and then you can say, don't I me. Yes. Let me see, evaluation by Phil was 3 minutes and 26 seconds. She just squeezed it in. Yes, and Tony's speech was, again, evaluation was 3 minutes and 27 seconds. Squeezed in again. And most of the round robin evaluation was within 2 minutes, of course, except John, who always has a lot to say, but everyone else was within maybe 2 minute time limit. And in hybrid meeting, being a timer is very tough. You have to operate your online timing device, and then this one kept falling apart, and David had prop it up again, and he helped me when I forgot the time, start timing, and so forth. So thank you, David. Back to you, Madam Presiding Officer.
Thank you, Ray. I just want to say again, I want to thank everyone for joining us, those of you in here, and to the people online. I hope you got as much value out of today's meeting as I did. I would like to see more of these events, and I know David Jones, our district director, that's really striving for this year to help people understand the evaluation, what goes into evaluation. So if you haven't looked at the district calendar, please look at that calendar, because there's events going out on that calendar all the time. It's a good thing you said that, because I've forgotten. Before we go into that, I want to go ahead and recognize all of the dignitaries we have. We have a lot of dignitaries here today. I'm going to start first with our district director, David Jones. Online, our club growth director and district podcast co-chair, Misty Mitchell. Our own district webmaster, WordPress developer and administrator, Tony Campbell. Our district timer and club growth extension chair online. I could not pronounce your last name. I apologize. We will work on that. And I hate to do this, but I am district conference co-chair and club quality chair. Yay! Recognizing yourself is very difficult.
Use a mirror.
There we go. Our district benevolence chair and our area 24 director, Carolyn Jenkins. In the room, our area 2 director, Rob Heskett. Our area 2 director, Rob Heskett. Last, but certainly not least. Buckle up. But certainly not immediate least. Past district director. Immediate past district committee chair, district leadership realignment chair, district awards chair, and district awards toastmaster, distinguished toastmaster, Julie Ricard. Have I missed anybody? Great. With that, we are going to go to our raffle for our door prizes.
What are our door prizes and Patty's gonna come down. Patty's gonna come down. So far.
I'm not going far.
So far.
I'm not going far.
I come with the suspense.
I come with baggage.
I come with the
Okay.
suspense.
I
All of
come
us
with
have
baggage.
baggage. One sort or another. All of us have baggage. One sort or another.
Everybody's name. I think I got everybody's name online, including you, Bill. Including you, Bill. Glad you showed your face. Glad you showed your face at the last minute. What we're gonna do is draw from the names of the people in the room and online. There is a mixture in there. They're all mixed together.
All mixed.
All mixed together.
Oh, I can see them mixing.
She's mixing them.
In the midst of.
You could do them like cards,
I could.
but they probably looks.
And we will choose, we have a couple of authors in the room. Carolyn Jenkins has donated 2 books. The first one is 7 Seconds to Connect, which is what we are constantly doing with step with Toastmasters. Her second book, Tech Time AI Confident. Ooh, most useful in today's environment. The other author is myself. I have 2 copies of my book, Managing to Become Leaders. And we have, is it 2? 2 $20 gift certificates. Amazon gift certificates, okay. Well, let's just hope we get some online people come up in this.
Oh, is it? I mean, okay,
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter because we have 2 books.
Choose one.
Maggie Manor?
Maggie Manor is online.
Minor.
Minor. That's.
Yay, thank you.
Can you choose one, Madam President?
Does she get to pick up which one she wants?
Or
Or
she's
she
online.
oh, she's online, so she gets the gift card.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Our next winner in the room, David Jones.
Dave, you got a few books to choose from?
Here we go, 7 seconds. That's
my,
my,
Actually,
that's my time. Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
thank you.
Sweet.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
Really become a
Tech savvy.
expert.
And learn how to talk in 7 seconds.
ask you to pull.
Okay, we're gonna ready to pull the next one. Oh, and John.
When you can have my room.
Yes.
Let me see what, okay, right there. Okay, this one is Cass Zemecki.
She is our other guest in the room.
I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you. Please.
Okay.
How about me?
Yes, I think.
Oh.
How about choosing?
Then she gets to pick the next one.
Another person? Yeah. Okay. This one. There we go. Kay Anderson.
So
You will receive a $20 gift certificate by email. We have all.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. And we have another in the room and one, want to make sure these are right online.
I think that was 4. We have 4. We have.
We've done 2 in the room and 2.
We haven't done 2 in the room. Have we done 2 online?
Yeah.
Have we done 2?
And we've done 2 of the room.
Okay.
So we're done.
Yeah,
So we're done?
and we're done 2 of the room. Unless you wanna do just in the room and see somebody else wins. Unless you wanna do just in the room and see somebody else wins your. Why not? Because you brought 2 guys. We'll do an extra. Okay. Why not? We'll do an. So this has to be an in the room person. So this has to be an in the room person.
Okay.
Okay. And then we're gonna have refreshments. And then so those of you who are online, refreshments of your own. Go find some refreshments. We have cheese and crackers on board. And some fruit and some chocolate. And muffins. And what else do we have? Oh, good. She's sorting the cards to make sure she gets another person in the room.
That's true. Well, you know what members get? Then that made it simple. Right.
Oh.
So
Rob gets the other one. Rob, thank you for being here as our area. Right.
Thank you for that moment.
Very good.
And I want to give a special shout out to ATA for hosting today, and especially to our event committee. Carolyn had the idea and it's now come to fruition. And I hope, Carolyn, this is everything you imagined.
It's been wonderful. I enjoyed it, and I think
She set a goal for how many people to participate, and we actually went beyond the goal. I thought her goal was too high. Goes to show what I know.
She proved you wrong again, Phil, and that's okay.
And
before we adjourn the meeting, I want to invite our district director up if he has anything he'd like to share with us. Please help me welcome again, David John.
Thank you, Liam. Hey, listen. All right, there we go. Listen to Tony's. All right, we have a few events coming up. First one Thursday, the 23rd, district council meeting, DC, the district council meeting, presidents and vice presidents of education. Talk about there, we're gonna have the budget. We also have to vote on whether we're gonna allow remote leaders to be remote or local only. That's something that Toastmasters is requiring this year. We're thinking of partial remote because we have people, that's something that in South Carolina, people like in South Carolina and some others, but they're gonna be part of our district next year. They won't be remote. We'll have to decide what is in the best interest of the district. The second thing we have coming up is this Saturday. I'll have Julie talk about the award ceremony. But if you're gonna go to the award ceremony, on your way, 10 minutes away from there is Advanced Communicators of Charlotte. They meet Saturday at 9:30 before the meeting. Stop by there, say hello, and then go to the award ceremony, which is at 1. And Julie, do you want to discuss what's gonna be happening at the award ceremony? Then you're on mute, or somebody on mute.
It's frozen.
No, she's talking here, but we can't hear her.
No, mine, she's frozen.
Oh, shoot. Okay, Julie, try again. Tell us about the award ceremony.
Drinks are included, please register. So please register. The district will pay the difference after the $22. The district will pay the difference after the $22. We are looking forward to seeing many of you next Saturday. We are looking forward to seeing it's including Concord emails next Saturday L House at Concord, and that is in Concord, North Carolina. It is in Concord, North Carolina. See you there. See you there.
Now we can't hear David.
Yeah, now we can't hear you, David. I'm sorry.
Now we can't.
Yeah, now we can't hear you, David. I'm sorry.
It's like they dropped us.
Well, for anyone that can hear me, teamwork is the dream work. And I love and thanks for coming. Meeting, and thanks for coming.
Look back again.
Okay, well, tell everybody in the room. 9:30 Tuesday. 9:30 Tuesday. District success. All right. So Tuesday the 30th. the club success plans that are due, as well as the district success plan. I know Renee and some others have had some troubles with the club success plan. So is the district. We finished ours weeks ago. We still haven't been able to submit it. So I know working on it. And areas are
Technical difficulties. The commission pathways too. Everything is a work in progress.
Yes, and AD reports are also due on the 30th, down to 10/14 is a big, 10/14 is a big day. My daughter's 60th anniversary, we're doing a 2-week transatlantic cruise. We're doing a 2-week transatlantic cruise. So if anything comes up, you running the show for me without definitely not running the show for me without anybody, definitely not. And then finally, based on tonight's theme or today's theme, Phyllis, I don't know if you want to talk about what you're doing for the district. Phyllis, I don't know if you want to talk about what you're doing for the district.
Just a couple words about it, because he is the one who inspired us to do this whole evaluation series. The first one was Marilyn Smith. This is actually the second piece of it, because it just kind of the second piece of it. On October 27th, be watching the D37 watching the D37 evaluation calendar. That webinar evaluation done by Brian. Webinar will be done by Brian Crutchfield. And then coming up is TLI, November 8th. First week of December, there'll be another evaluation. And that's either going to be me or we're not sure yet, because I haven't gotten Joanne to clarify for sure. In January is going to be Kate McLaughlin. In January is going to be Kate McLaughlin, who we have heard a number of times competitions. And then in February will be the Oceans. And then in February will be the Ocean. So we're doing these all leading up to test season, so we can all give wonderful evaluations for our contestants.
I agree. And part of that is because membership retention. I feel if we're not growing as speakers, we're not going to renew. The only way to grow speakers is get evaluation. And that's all I have. And I'm going to relinquish it back to our club president. And
Thank you, David. And just a couple parting words. We hope you have enjoyed today. We encourage you if you have not joined an advanced club. This is the one. If it's not. On the even months, we meet online only. On the odd months, this being September, we are hybrid. It is the third Saturday of every month from 10 to noon. Our next meeting is online only, and that will be online is the third Saturday meeting only. If you're available, if you're interested, please come back and check us out. Do I have any other comments before I adjourn today's meeting? With that, please help yourself to the snacks in the room. Please help yourself to the snacks in the room. Online people, like Phyllis said, you will have to find your own snack. You'll have to find your meeting adjourned snack.